Welcome back to our channel for another deep dive into the sensational drama of Los Angeles. Today is a spectacular day to unpack the latest corporate tremors and romantic upheavals shaking the fashion world to its core. Grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let us explore the explosive new developments that are about to change everything. The glamorous, cutthroat world of Los Angeles high fashion is currently witnessing an unprecedented corporate apocalypse. Forrester Creations, the legendary fashion empire built on the visionary genius of Eric Forrester, is teetering precariously on the terrifying brink of total bankruptcy. This catastrophic financial freefall is the direct, devastating consequence of Hope Logan Spencer's shocking defection and the relentless, suffocating pressure exerted by the newly empowered Logan brand. With Hope secretly taking her immense talent and the brilliant designer Deke Sharp to rival Katie Logan Spencer's burgeoning fashion house, Forrester Creations has been plunged into an absolute public relations and financial nightmare. The walls of the iconic executive suite are rapidly closing in, and the once unshakable legacy of the Forrester family is facing total annihilation. The atmosphere in the building is suffocating, thick with the bitter realization that Bill Spencer's ruthless corporate warfare is actively succeeding in dismantling their historic empire piece by agonizing piece. Steffy Forrester Finnegan, the fiercely proud and historically unyielding co-CEO, is now drowning in the devastating consequences of her own hubris. Her arrogant refusal to grant Hope a definitive relaunch date for the Hope for the Future line, coupled with her stubborn prioritization of haute couture, has backfired with catastrophic precision. Carter Walton's prophetic, desperate warnings about alienating key personnel have materialized into a waking nightmare. The company is hemorrhaging capital at an alarming, unsustainable rate, and investors are fleeing in droves. Steffi is physically and emotionally exhausted, staring at plummeting stock prices and terrifying financial projections that spell the undeniable end of her grandfather's legacy. The crushing weight of leadership has never felt heavier, and the terrifying reality is that Forrester Creations is out of time, out of money, and completely out of options. Just as the darkness of financial ruin seems absolute and inescapable, the heavy mahogany doors of the Forrester boardroom swing open to reveal the ultimate, unpredictable wild card, Shauna Fulton. Returning to Los Angeles with a chaotic, audacious, and utterly mesmerizing energy, Shauna steps into the epicenter of the Forrester crisis not as a marginalized outsider, but as an omnipotent savior. She is armed with a massive, mind-boggling financial investment, a mysterious influx of capital so astronomically large that it has the immediate power to pull the legendary fashion house back from the terrifying abyss of bankruptcy. The sheer scale of the wealth she brings is staggering, leaving Ridge and Steffi in a state of paralyzed shock. But the profound mystery surrounding the origin of this sudden, massive fortune adds a layer of dangerous, intoxicating intrigue to her dramatic arrival. Shauna Fulton, however, does not offer this miraculous financial lifeline out of the sheer goodness of her heart or lingering sentimental attachment. She is a woman who has learned to play the ruthless games of Los Angeles, and she presents a cold, calculated, and entirely non-negotiable ultimatum. In exchange for rescuing Forrester Creations from imminent financial collapse, Shauna demands a permanent, highly influential position on the executive board. She is no longer content to exist on the periphery of power. She demands a seat at the absolute head of the table. She wants a definitive voice in the company's future trajectory, the authority to shape the fashion industry, and the undeniable respect that comes with a top-tier executive title. This is not merely a generous investment. It is a meticulously disguised hostile takeover. For Steffi Forrester Finnegan, this audacious proposition is a bitter, jagged, and deeply humiliating pill to swallow. She harbors a profound, deep-seated hatred for Shauna Fulton. The extensive history of manipulation, the fraudulent and chaotic Las Vegas wedding debacle involving Ridge, the constant, grating clashes, Steffy has always viewed Shauna as nothing more than a dangerous, opportunistic grifter. Yet, as she intensely scrutinizes the catastrophic financial ledgers and the looming threat of the Logan Empire's dominance, Steffy experiences a profound, agonizing realization. She has absolutely no other choice. It is a devastating binary decision. Either surrender a significant piece of her family's sacred legacy to a woman she despises, or watch the entire Forrester empire burn to the ground. With profound reluctance, shattered pride, and seething, silent anger, Steffy is violently forced to accept Shauna's draconian terms. The explosive news of Shauna Fulton's shocking ascension to the Forrester Executive Board hits Brooke Logan Forrester like a devastating, physical blow to the chest. Brooke is already spiraling wildly out of control, her psychological state fragile after losing her daughter, Hope, to the rival Logan brand, and engaging in a shocking, violent physical altercation with her own sister, Katie. Now, her absolute, undeniable worst nightmare is unfolding right in the sacred space of the CEO office. The very woman who once manipulated her husband into a fraudulent marriage in the neon glow of Las Vegas is now sitting in a position of immense, untouchable power, right next to Ridge. The sheer, unadulterated humiliation of seeing Shauna back in a position of authority, dictating the future of the company Brooke helped build, sends Brooke into a frantic, desperate frenzy. Shauna's daily, commanding presence in the executive suite immediately and irrevocably alters the fundamental dynamic of Forrester Creations. A powerful, entirely unexpected, and deeply dangerous alliance begins to rapidly form between Ridge Forrester and Shauna Fulton. Ridge, who is profoundly desperate to save his family's legacy and utterly exhausted by the constant, draining infighting with the Logan women, finds a strange, intoxicating comfort in Shauna's unwavering support and her miraculous financial salvation. Shauna knows exactly how to navigate Ridge's complex ego, offering him the fierce loyalty, admiration, and uncritical backing that he has been desperately craving amidst the corporate chaos. Their interactions shift from purely transactional to something far more intimate and collaborative. This newly forged, powerful alliance places the already fragile marriage of Ridge and Brooke in extreme, immediate jeopardy. Every single time Brooke witnesses Shauna in the boardroom, confidently asserting her new executive influence and standing shoulder to shoulder with Ridge as they plot the company's survival, Brooke's deep-seated insecurities flare into a blinding, consuming rage. The physical proximity, the shared, intimate secret of saving the company from the brink of death, the undeniable, lingering spark of their scandalous past, it all threatens to shatter the foundation of their marriage once and for all. Shauna is not just saving Forrester Creations. She is slowly, methodically, and brilliantly infiltrating every single aspect of Ridge's professional and personal life. The overarching, terrifying question that now haunts the glamorous halls of Forrester Creations is the true, hidden motivation behind Shauna Fulton's miraculous return. Is she genuinely, altruistically trying to save the legendary fashion house? Or is this massive investment merely the first, calculated phase of a meticulously crafted, long-game revenge plot? For years, Shauna and her daughter, Flo Fulton, have been treated as disposable second-class citizens by the elite Logan women. Brooke, Katie, and Donna have consistently looked down upon them from their moral high horses, harshly judging their past mistakes and entirely dismissing their inherent worth. The psychological scars of that relentless condescension run deep within Shauna. By securing a position of absolute, unassailable power at the very top of Forrester Creations, Shauna has positioned herself perfectly to launch a devastating counterstrike against the entire Logan Empire. With Hope, Katie, and the ruthless Bill Spencer actively waging an all-out corporate war from the outside, Shauna can brilliantly weaponize the vast resources of Forrester to crush them. This unprecedented investment might very well be a brilliant Trojan horse, a masterful strategy for Shauna to gain the ultimate, untouchable vantage point to systematically destroy the women who have humiliated her for years. The Logans have always operated under the arrogant assumption that they were untouchable, but Shauna is now armed with the power, the money, and the ruthless determination to prove them fatally wrong. Furthermore, the profound, unsettling mystery surrounding the origin of Shauna's massive investment adds a thrilling, dangerous layer of complexity to the unfolding narrative. How did a woman who was once struggling to find her footing suddenly acquire the capital to single-handedly save a global fashion empire? Did she secure this staggering funding through legitimate, albeit secretive, business ventures, or has she aligned herself with a dark, unseen, and potentially dangerous benefactor? Could Wyatt Spencer, who recently returned to Los Angeles to aid the Logan brand and who possesses deep, lingering ties to Flo, have inadvertently or intentionally played a role in securing this capital? The absolute uncertainty surrounding the money makes Shauna an unpredictable, terrifying, and utterly fascinating adversary. As Shauna rapidly consolidates her newfound power within the company, Steffy finds herself trapped in a highly precarious, suffocating, and deeply uncomfortable position. She technically retains her title as co-CEO, but she must now daily navigate the treacherous, unpredictable waters of sharing control with a woman she fundamentally loathes and distrusts. Steffy must constantly watch her back, acutely aware that Shauna is a master manipulator who could easily and effortlessly turn Ridge against her if it served her hidden agenda. The once familiar executive suite has been transformed into a dangerous snake pit of shifting loyalties and unspoken threats, forcing Steffy to fight tooth and nail, utilizing every ounce of her Forrester cunning, simply to maintain her own authority in the company her grandfather built. The dramatic stage is now perfectly set for an epic, multi-front corporate and romantic war that will fundamentally redefine the glamorous landscape of Los Angeles. On one side of this bitter conflict, Bill Spencer, Katie Logan, and the defected Hope Logan lead the rapidly rising Logan brand, armed with Eric Forster's stolen designs and an insatiable, ruthless thirst for total industry dominance. On the opposing side stands the newly fortified Forster Creations, desperately bolstered by Shauna Fulton's mysterious, massive wealth and Ridge Forster's fierce, protective determination. The impending collision of these two corporate titans will be nothing short of catastrophic, guaranteed to leave a tragic trail of shattered relationships, ruined reputations, and broken hearts in its devastating wake. In the end, Shauna Fulton's dramatic, high-stakes return has fundamentally and irreversibly altered the core DNA of the bold and the beautiful. She has miraculously transformed from a marginalized, often dismissed outsider into a terrifying corporate powerhouse, literally holding the fragile fate of a legendary fashion empire in the palm of her hands. Whether she ultimately acts as Forster Creations' ultimate, selfless savior or the brilliant architect of its final, spectacular destruction remains to be seen. But one thing is absolutely, undeniably certain in this chaotic new reality. Brooke Logan Forster's absolute worst nightmare has only just begun. The balance of power has violently shifted, and the high-stakes fashion world of Los